The thing is that most of these people, right? For example, this rich dad poor dad guy, Robert Kiyosaki, this he has made his money by teaching people how to make money. All right. So the problem is that if you go about listening to these people that um you know who has kind of like made a few $1 million by teaching people how to make. I mean, it's kind of like a pyramid scheme, right? Okay. So the thing is that what happens is that you end up doing what everyone else did. This is what I have not never done. Like that's why even when I was reading this book, right, this Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I don't know why I didn't understand even then that why was it so famous, because it basically has pretty generic advice and some of it is like absolute bullshit. Yeah, some things are fine, like the assets and the liability thing, that's fine, but most of it is bullshit, and that's what I told my everyone who I talk to, that I don't know why people like this book so much. There's nothing so much saucy, just like this Ankur Wariko, Iman Ghazi, and I can just put everyone's photo there, but like, whatever, these are just the popular guys. So the thing is that I'm not calling this a pyramid scheme. It's just that why would you listen to this guy who has made a few $1 million online when you can just go and listen to this guy who was the most successful 20 year old in the history of Earth. So why the fuck would you listen to him? Like, and likewise goes for me as well. You can go and ahead and ignore my advice. I don't have a problem, right? But the thing is, I aspire to be like him. I learn from him, and I learn from his way of doing things, right? So that's why maybe you can give me a chance and listen to the video if you want to, right? Whatever. So the thing is that there are people a lot more successful in history who are not yet alive, like Benjamin Franklin. Who else? I don't know, Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, Titus, right? Then the Bhagavad Gita. There's not really a thing, but book, and Vedas, Puranas, okay, or क्या होता है? Then other specific people in their particular niches, and Charles Darwin, right? Charles Darwin. You have Leonardo da Vinci, right? So all these people, they have been the very greats, and a lot more. I'm not able to name them, right? So a lot more. They have been like pretty much like the best in the field. And Steve Jobs, yeah, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates as well, because he's a great businessman, right? So all these people, they have been incredibly successful in whatever they have done. Okay, and right, and these people just had a mental model and a paradigm of thinking that if you adapted, you would be successful, not as successful as them, not that's not necessary, but you will at least be successful for your own regards, right? And what happens is that when you go about just following these people, it kind of like constrains your thinking. Okay. So this guy has made a few million. This guy has made a few millions and likes to show off a lot more, right? And I don't know about this guy, to be honest. I don't know how much money he makes, but he's considered like he's one of the finance gurus in India. So I just had his pick here because it made sense, right? No hate to any of these guys, like they're doing their thing. It's not really a problem. But the thing is that on a personal level, just think about it. Why would you learn, from anyone? Okay, not just these guys. These are just like the popular guys. So I just have them here. Why would you learn from anyone, you know, from them, or it could be Luke Burlmar, it could be who else, Jordan Wells for e-commerce, any of these people, right? Whatever the fuck, right? When you can learn from these people, and a lot more is like just whoever came up straight off my head, straight off my like memory right now. You can just learn from these people, right? And these books. So you can go ahead and read Alexander the Great, like the campaigns of Alexander, and that's a very really good book on history, right? You can also learn the uh, from Robert Greene, right? I feel like his The 48 Laws of Power is like quite overhyped, to be honest. He has a lot better books like the Laws of War, and the Art of Seduction, Mastery, and the Laws of Human Nature. I think these are a lot better books, right? So the thing is that when you go about reading all these people, what happens is that you are in a different league. You are in a different league. Okay? And I don't say this with arrogance, but the thing is that when you're reading these people, you'll kind of realize that how minuscule and how incompetent you are, and how incompetent people around you are. Okay? How how less they work. Okay, like imagine conquering the entire known world by 30 years old. Okay, the most powerful man on the planet, one of the finest thinkers of all time, the greatest warrior and of all time. Okay, Vedas and Puranas, the finest biologist of all time, like scientific thing, whatever, inventor of all time, technological inventor of all time, greatest businessman of all time. Okay, and all of the people as well, like John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie. Let's just have them here as well. Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, right? All these people, right? So when you go and adapt their thinking and see how they work and see what they do and what their mental models are, what their principles are, what their way of thinking is, and you just apply it to whatever you want to do, you will become the best. What you do. I just did that. I never, I never, whenever for me particular, when I started e-commerce or drop shipping, I used to look at people, doing random ass shit like, I tried drop shipping for 7 days and 5 days or whatever the fuck with thousands. I knew this bullshit. It's not going to work. And the first thing that hit me was that, the delivery thing. All right. So everybody had this mental connotation that India mein delivery nahi aati hai and 40% delivery is like, why? I just thought that if you just think from first principles, all right. So there's a bit off topic. I know this not for the general audience, but I'm trying to give you an example here. Okay, so the thing is that if you think about delivery in general, so let's say someone bought a product from a website and he doesn't accept it at delivery. Why would he do that? There are a few reasons. He doesn't want the product bad enough. The product is not good enough. Or he doesn't have money. Okay. So in either of the case, it's not a market problem. It's your problem. Okay. You don't have a good product, or you don't have a convincing enough product, or you just are selling a product which appeals to very lower demographic of people who don't have money to buy things. And I kind of absorbed this with whatever I was selling. So what I did was, I just thought about it because obviously in the beginning I used to call people whoever used to order from my store, and I used to ask them, keep, this coming, and then it used to be NDR, and then I used to ask them, keep, why do you do NDR and all that, and they simply said I don't have money, and it was like a 49959 product, and they just said they don't have money. All right. So that was a problem. And then, across YouTube, you would see people saying India mein khali 40-50% delivery aate hain, all that bullshit. So I was like, why? How can we solve this? So simply put, I started thinking in first principles that what is delivery rate in first principles? Right? Delivery rate in first principles is just about, you know, quality plus need of the product should be greater than the friction. Okay. So the quality plus need of the product should be greater than the friction to get it. This is basically delivery rate in first principle, right? So if I just add it here, this is delivery rate in first principle, right? And the thing is that same goes for prepaid rate. So I'll come to it in a moment, but I'm just trying to give you an example of how I thought about this. This was a very big problem, by the way, for me when I started, because everybody just said, no bro, India में 40% ही delivery आती है, 50% delivery मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. I was like, why would someone not accept it? Why only 50% of the people would accept it if they have bought it? It literally doesn't make sense, right? So I was just very weird, and if I was following these people, I would be like, oh, hustle 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 bro, hustle, this is how it is, and I say karo and do SIP, whatever the fuck. Right? So yeah, whatever, fuck it. So I just thought about that. Why is it the case? So I thought from first principles, and it's like quality plus need of the product is basically gonna plus need of the product should be greater than the fiction. Now what is quality? Quality as in the product and the website and everything should not look scammy, and the product has to actually be a random that like an actual thing which does the work. Yeah, so quality could be the branding of the site, how good the site looks, and how the product feels like. It's not a random ass scammy gadget, right? It actually works. And need of the product, as in the desire the product is targeting, right? So what is the need? Need is basically desire of the product that is being done from first principles, right? So if these two are higher than the friction to get it, then you'll have a higher delivery rate. So how do you make that happen? You make that happen by making a good website, finding a good product, having decent creatives, and targeting good people who actually understand the need of it. All right, not having some random ass scammy gadget with some random ass buttons popping up, which targets like tier 3 people, right? That is the thing. That is delivery rate. And once you do that, your delivery rate went up. As was with me, I started getting 80-85% delivery rates, all right, from 50, which is very, very good. And the same thing goes for prepaid. So there was this connotation in India, like, that, India doesn't have prepaid. Okay. And I was like, why would you not prepay? Okay. If you're getting a discount and everything, so we started giving discounts and stuff and whatever and whatnot, and having all these things basically. And now we have like around 40 to 50% to 40 to 60% prepaid. Okay. And I'm also trying to things and experimenting with things to get this prepaid to 100%, like no COD at all. Okay. You might ask, how do I do that? I don't know, but I'm thinking about it. Okay, I've not figured this out yet, but I'm doing some critical thinking, and I'm trying to figure out from first principles, how can I get this and how can I make this happen? Because if this happens, everyone is done for in the market. I'm going to destroy everyone, like literally. All right. So yeah, it's obviously it's not going to be easy. It's going to need a lot of critical thinking, a lot of thinking for first principle to do this. But this is the next step. And to get to my goal of 1 crore a day that I had in a previous video, this has to happen. Without this, 1 crore a day is going to be very, very operationally challenging. So before I figure out how to get to 1 crore a day, I need to figure out how to get to 100% prepaid at, let's say, 10 lakh a day. Then 20, then 30, blah blah, and it will happen. Right. So that's how you reason from first principles. Now, how did I develop this? Does it just automatically pop up? So this what I did for e-commerce right now is basically how you do reasoning. How did I do that? I just went ahead and read about these people, how they thought, how they approach problems, how they do things. I read the Bhagavad Gita, I have read the Puranas, I've read the Shiv Puran and a few others. I have also read the Bhavishya Puran, right? And I understood Charles Darwin, read Vinci, Steve Jobs biography, Bill Gates, Carnegie, all these people, Mastery by Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature, blah blah blah. I just understood a lot of things, and then as a result, as a first order consequence of doing all this, I developed this mental model for e-commerce, and this is just for e-commerce. I have mental model for everything. So obviously, another thing that is health and fitness. So the thing is that I gained a lot of weight in the past few months because I was just working on the business and I was not really exercising, not really eating healthy. I just fucked up everything. So now my next goal is to get back in shape and get a bit fit and lose a bit of weight, because obviously you don't want to be fat, right? So the thing is that I was thinking, how should we do this? So it's as simple as I read a few books and I understood why you basically gain weight, and it comes and boils down to carbs. All right. So it comes and boils down to carbs. Now this is a bit of a, some people might not believe it, some people might not, but this is objective. So it basically comes and boils down to any form of carbs. So any form of carbs, concentrated carbs, like with that be cold drink, right? Coke, cold drink, right? Cold drink, right? Ice cream, rice, rotis, right? Or whatever, anything that has carbs. Okay? Anything that has carbs, basically the reason for your basically fat in the body. Okay, now there is the exact biological reason. If I go about, then that will not really make sense in this video, because this is not a biological video. This is a mindset video. Okay, so it doesn't make sense if I explain that, but basically it's due to this, and you just minimize this and eat protein, right? Eat protein and fats, right? Like ghee, butter, healthy fats. Okay. Okay. And in the beginning, now this might sound a bit controversial and some people might not believe this, but eating fruits, okay, fruits also has sugar. Okay. So when you're trying to lose weight, it's best not to eat any of this. Okay. Now I'm not no health specialist, but okay, and some people might get pissed off at me, but this is what I'm doing, and this is really affecting me because this is really working for me, because I lost like 5 kgs in like 10 days, 15 days. Yeah. What happens in terms of like first principle, what happens is basically if you're eating carbs and any form of carbs, whether it be concentrated carb, whatever, what happens is there is hyperprotein lipase and there's this lipoprotein lipase. Okay, these are some hormones in the body, and what happens is that if you're eating carbs, the body gets signal that that we just have to use this energy to make the most amount of energy, and this is like the most powerful form of energy, right? So what happens is that your body just uses this, and rest of the stuff it just stores as fat for later use as a survival mechanism. Something along this lines, I don't remember exactly, but I read this in a book. It's called Why We Get Fat. Okay, Why We Get Fat. Okay, it's a very good book. If you want to lose some weight and gain some muscle, then there's a very good book to read, right? So it does wonders and it works very nice, right? So yeah, the same thing I applied here. So initially what I made the mistake of, I went to a gym here in Bangalore, right? And I asked the trainer, and he kept complicating things. All right, so the problem with all these gym bros and all these trainers and all that specifically is that they don't really have a life outside of gym. Okay, so I talked to him and he was like, आपको muscle बढ़ाना है, muscle, and I was like, okay, so like I want to lose weight, नहीं lose करना है, fat lose करना है. I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to say, man? So I worked with him for like a month, and I understood he doesn't know shit. His bullshit is just complicated. He gave me a bunch of like protein and whatnot, and some omega-3 and whatnot, right? And I was like, okay, fine, but it was not really working out for me. So I was not able to, I just lost like 2 kgs in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And despite of like doing his workout stuff, it's not working. I was like, why the fuck is this so slow? So I started doing my own research, and then I read this book, Why We Get Fat, and then there's this Good Calories, Bad Calories by the same author, right? And I read those books and I was like, oh, so this is the reason. So I stopped going to his bullshit gym and just stopped exercising, which was bad. If I would have exercised, then I would have probably lost a lot more weight, because I got a bit busy with some business stuff or something. I don't know. I think my accounts were frozen back then, so probably something like that. Yeah. So I just started focusing eating on protein, just like grilled fish, grilled salmon, grilled chicken, eggs. That's it. And I lost like 5 kilos in the matter of like 7 to 10 days. 10 days. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. And if I would have done my exercise as well, then obviously I would have lost a lot more. But the thing is that what a lot of people get wrong is that you don't now regarding this particularly. Yeah, okay, I'm yapping on this, but it's just like my problem was that exercising is making me more hungry, so I want to eat more. Why is that the case? Okay, if I want to eat more, I just eat more, and then just balances out. So what's the point of exercising, right? So yeah, but yeah, obviously if you exercise, then there are certain things that you got to do which burns this and blah blah blah. So it's not a fitness video and all that. So yeah, basically just the same kind of mental model and first principles thinking kind of applied to this. So I'm not there yet. I have to reach my goal of around 68 to 70 kilos. Right now I'm very high above that. So yeah, that's my focus right now as well, because obviously you want to lose weight, don't want to be overweight, right? It's not good. So yeah, that's the thing. So you just take, and once you have learned it, you just take it and apply to everything that you do in life, and you are going to be quite successful in a quite short amount of time, because you're literally comparing yourself to the greatest of all time, right? And obviously it's not very healthy. So you'll sometimes be sad, you'll sometimes be depressed, and you'll feel like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm useless. Which sometimes happens with me. I'm like, what the fuck have I done? But that's just how it is. It's just how it is. There's no such thing as being successful and having like everyone be like, oh, how we are proud of you. But that doesn't happen. It's just how the world works, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the thing. And that's basically how I just ignored all these people and made crores. And also I'm fixing other areas of my life. And yeah, that's about it. And I think the video is clear. So I tried giving you different examples, not just in terms of like business, because it might not have made sense. So I just gave examples from e-commerce, and I also gave for this. So I hope that was clear. If you still don't get it, you can join the Discord server and you can ask the questions, so we can discuss the things, right? So yeah, that's just about it. And if you are someone who wants to start or scale their e-commerce business, or is doing like 5-10 lakh rupees per month and is not able to make money, not able to scale beyond that, then you can reach out to me on my email for my one-to-one mentorship program. It's only for serious people. It's not for dropshipping and all the bullshit, right? Okay. And if you're serious, you can email me. We'll see if we can help you, and we'll get in touch. Okay. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you liked it, and let me know if you wanna what topics you want me to cover, and I'll make a video on that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.